Alrighty then, back once again for another reaction. This time it's Once Upon a Time, Season 2, Episode 3. And it has been a few weeks since I was last watching this. My schedule as a whole has been pretty shit, and procrastination was at an all-time high, and I was stuck in a kind of mental rut. But something personally shocking in my personal life recently has really put a perspective on the whole thing and given me fresh inspiration. So I'm ready to really knuckle down and record a bunch of shit and then have it stockpiled so that I can start putting reactions out at a regular pace again, because more than any of you guys, I want to be posting more than every week and a half, every 2 weeks. I want to be posting more than that. I explained this in a reply to someone who basically said that. I was like, dude, if I had it my way, I would be uploading every other day. But that just hasn't been happening, and I do think that's wrong. I want to do YouTube full time, and I've barely made a dent, and that's not acceptable. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm forcing myself to do anything. It's literally overcoming my own mental hurdles and dealing with all the shit real life wants to throw at me. Like, for some reason I don't have the free time I used to anymore when I was back in the Ultra Fast Pony days, where I was uploading daily for weeks on end. That period's gone. I don't know where that went, but basically, aside from Young Justice and Once Upon a Time, both Patron requested series that I'm enjoying very much, I do have other shit that I want to react to as well. And, you know, I've got no prayer unless I'm on top of these as well. Like, so what good is all this delay causing me? It's not causing me any. Like, because I'm being kept from all the other stuff I want to watch, and I'm being kept from these amazing series, like the one I'm watching right now, that I also want to watch more of. What is stopping me? Half the time, nothing. Half the time, some bullshit. But, you see, basically, this is the start of me trying to put that right. Basically, I'm going to record this episode of Once Upon a Time tonight, and then I am either going to record some more Young Justice tomorrow, which is Saturday for me, or I'm going to start catching up on Ultra Fast Pony, which is something I haven't reacted to for years, and that is not by design. That is by complete accident of just falling off and not keeping up with any abridged crap. I mean, Scooter Tricks, the abridged series, is done. I'm not caught up on that. So, you know, it's a whole thing in itself. Basically, you see I posted a Young Justice reaction recently. That's still from that first batch of recordings. I love how I'm talking in the recording as if, you know, oh, I've just recorded a marathon. I've been stretching that marathon out by uploading the episodes so far apart from each other, and that's through procrastinating editing them, which is another thing in itself. But like I say, I've received a huge kick up the backside lately, and I feel remotivated, and in a genuine sense. I feel like I have a bit of the passion back, which, as I say, I will never force myself to do something if I'm not feeling passionate about it, because that would result in poor content for the rest of you. I want to, if I upload something, I have put all my effort into it. Like, I will not record a reaction if I'm not feeling 100%, and I will not start editing a reaction if I know I can't commit to it for the whole night. Like, I like to fully tackle every issue I face, every task that I have. Like, it has to be all or nothing. Right now, I'm very much switched on. I'm ready to go all in and get some recording done. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, basically, I usually shave if it's been a while. I usually shave my cheeks if it's been a while between reactions. But no, I wanted to show you as basically physical evidence. You look at how I looked during the Young Justice recording that I uploaded recently, and then look at this. The difference. Like, this is like 2 or 3 weeks of difference. Like, this is the first recording since around that time. Not good enough. And so we're going to start correcting that right now. We've got Once Upon a Time, a series I absolutely love watching. It's got phenomenal actors, phenomenal acting, phenomenal directing, and it's just overall a a marvel of a show. So we're going to keep going. Season 2 is off to a strong start, and I'm hopefully it has a strong middle, end, and whatever. So here we go. Oh boy, howdy! Oh my goodness, what a roller coaster of a ride for my return to Once Upon a Time. I did not expect. Like, obviously, so far, while watching the show, there have been moments where I've cried. Like, when watching My Little Pony, there were times I cried. While watching Ruby. Now, here's the thing. I can only ever recall sobbing, outright sobbing, once. And if anyone remembers any other times, I would love for them to point it out if they remember any. But the one time I remember outright sobbing in a reaction is when I was trying to give my afterthoughts about Ruby Volume 3, Chapter 12. Concerning the whole Pyrrha thing, and I everything went pretty well, and then the last minute or so at the end, when I started reflecting on all the potential Pyrrha had and how good of a person she was and the great character she was, and that she was suddenly gone, snuffed out, I started really letting that sink in, and I just broke down. And for the first time ever, I wasn't able to sign off like, see you guys next time. Like, and I had to fade out. Like, I can't do it. I can't carry on. And I was in floods of tears. Now, today marks the second ever time I've been reduced to sobs. Not just tearing up, not just having a bit of a wipe away session like, oh man, this scene's making me cry. I had to take a sob break. Do you realize how monumental that is? This is one of the most emotional episodes of anything I've ever watched in my entire life. Jeez, that was tough. And in the best way. That was so tough. Oh man. Oh, that was almost unfair with the amount of emotional bombshells in this episode and all of the excellent character development. Are you kidding me? Hands down the best episode I've seen so far of this show. Like, forget the awesomeness, forget like the funny quips, forget the marvelous performances put into Rumpelstiltskin, Regina, and all of them. Oh, this episode has left the strongest impression on me by a country mile. It is that good. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, Charming's mother, please rest in peace. That was. She was such a sweet old lady, and seeing the innocent suffer is bad in of itself. We don't like seeing that, but it was laid on so thick that I couldn't help but drown in it, and the tears just came forth. Like, usually it's a criticism to say that a show laid something on thick, but no, this was one of those instances where laying it on thick means that they went all out with a certain something, and it just hit me like a freight train. The injustice of it, the tragedy of it, the fact that it was happening to such a good person, and the fact that they were able to do something for her in her final moments. It makes me think about life and family and how much my own means to me and all of that. And you just imagine yourself in their situation, and it genuinely upsets you. It really rocks you, and you think, oh no. Like, and it just comes out. Epic. Epic, epic, epic. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. I'm sure you got the gist of what my reaction was all about for that kind of stuff. But something I made sure to make a little clickety-clackety note of earlier was I loved that they had Aurora sneaking around in the back while Snow and them were about to walk off with Mulan out of the little outpost haven thing. I really enjoyed how we saw her lurking from shot to shot in the background to give us the hint that she was following them and waiting to make her move. That was very clever cinematography there, because obviously if you're just focusing on the foreground, you probably don't notice her. Like the average viewer watching on TV, they're not going to see that. Or, you know, or they are. Like, but I'm just saying the majority of the audience probably won't see that. But if you've got a keen eye and you're looking in the background, her appearing later isn't out of nowhere, because you can literally see her stalking them if you look at the background. The fact that the show includes details like that shows how seriously they treat the story and the audience and the way they've constructed everything. Like, I've always made sure to praise the directing and the camera work, and to make such intentional good moves like that makes me respect them all the more. I just think it's absolutely fantastic that they do that kind of thing. It's just top notch. It's absolutely top notch cinematography. Oh my goodness. And Korra with the whole Lancelot twist, a genuine twist. Like, this series loves its genuine twist. Like, you know, all these live action TV shows, there may be so many fabricated twists that you think, oh, now really, what was the point of this? Or, oh, well, that was so obvious, I'm surprised it took you this long. Like, you know, twists that just inspire that, oh, a twist. Oh, twists. Like, you know, like the kind of twist everyone's getting sick of. But Once Upon a Time gives you those genuine hard lefts, and it hits every single damn time. It always makes you stop, like, eh? Like, oh no! And, like, oh my gosh, the fact that Lancelot had been killed ages ago and Korra was just pretending to be him, oh, that was a genuine twist. I thought we were with Lancelot. Like, props to Korra, by the way, for how much of a good actress she must be. Like, obviously she got all his mannerisms down pat until she started to let it slip near the end, because until then, Snow wasn't any the wiser, so fair play to her. Emma learned a valuable lesson, you know, about taking the fairy tale world seriously and listening to the advice of the people around her and stuff. And she learned about how much of a difficult choice it actually was to send her away, knowing that there was a life plan for her back home. She wasn't just cast away. Like, it almost got me when she was like, she just couldn't believe someone thought of her first. Like, and the emotion the actress put into her voice, like, almost got me. If I hadn't have already been cried out, I would have probably started then. It just worked against itself a little bit to have two emotional scenes so close to each other in the runtime, but I didn't mind. I really didn't mind. They were excellent in their own ways, and it just so happened that one scene had to play first and get my full waterworks going. Yeah, both epic scenes of emotion. I'm really glad I called the twist well, not really twist, but I'm glad I basically called the action of Charming's mother to pretend to drink, because I was like, surely, you were so insistent a minute ago. I don't think you'd be this easily convinced. You're going to pretend to drink this. And I made sure to point it out that I thought that that's what she was going to do. And I turned out to be right. I always love when I get these little things right. It makes me think I'm paying attention. Hopefully, I've been doing that adequately enough. Well, I spotted Aurora in the background for one, you know, so I'm trying here. Yeah, man. Oh, and Henry, you know, he tried to bite off a little bit more than he could chew, almost got his ass bitten by those vipers. And Charming was there in the nick of time, but he learned a great lesson as well about not trying to be overprotective of Henry. He's as much of a part of this as everyone else and the rest of his family, so why not prepare him and just let him work alongside you so you can fight this together. I'm really interested to see how quickly Henry will pick up the art of the sword, see how far he comes along in that, because I have a feeling that in a later season he might pick up an actual sword and really show off some moves with it, which should be fun to see. But yeah, man, I think that's about it. Yeah, the main thing I took away from this episode was how emotional it was. I don't have much to say about the ogres, but pretty general. Ogre design had a silly weak spot in my opinion, and it was basically a plot device to teach Emma her lesson, which I didn't mind. If it's a lesson worth learning, then there's nothing wrong inherently with a plot device in that kind of way. So I have no problem with it whatsoever, because it was so important for Emma to learn that quickly so that this wasn't a recurring annoying issue with her character of, you know, still dragging her heels in about this whole responsibility thing. I'm glad that that was sorted out. I'm glad that she basically had a little lesson of why don't you just listen and take this seriously kind of thing. So very, very cool stuff. Lots of emotion, lots of like genuine feeling, lots of development. Like this was quintessential Once Upon a Time, I feel. Like, when you've been fully invested in these characters and then they give you these body blows for moments, like, you really feel it in your soul. And that, to me, more than anything else, tells me that you've made a fantastic show. Like, that's all there is to it. I'll see you guys next time.